42-0 Screven County all over Laney tonight. There's one more quarter to play. And again, we have a running clock situation here, so just 12 minutes left in this one. And the Wildcats have it. 1st and 10 at the Screven County 36-yard line.
Also, after this play, we'll tell you about Georgia Military College and our Kicks for College program here on Game Night Live as Sumter runs for the sidelines. Tonight's field goals and extra points throughout the game brought to you by Georgia Military College. While Georgia Military College enjoys a rich military history, you won't hear any drill sergeant barking orders at the Augusta campus because there is no military obligation or uniforms required. Everyone is welcome to attend Georgia Military College. Start here, go anywhere.
Sumter was a yard shy of the first down, so Cats will. Oh, no, they said he got it. All right, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line.
They pitch it to the freshman
sweep.
here.
Yeah, there's your boy Stringer.
Nowhere to go that time, though.
Not a whole lot, yeah. Blocking broke down over there. Well, if you're just joining us, a lot of you are getting home from your games. We had a lightning delay in the first quarter, and a lot of flags in that first half as well. But you can catch this game in its entirety. The rebroadcast coming up Sunday at noon over on WJBF News Channel 6. And also, don't forget, highlights from this game and all of tonight's action across the area on Football Friday night coming up at 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6.
Including the top plays at the end of the night. Always my favorite segment, other than our segment, John.
That's the best part of the show by far, of course. At this rate, we might be doing it live, as the truck says. The trouble on the snap for Sumter, and he's got nowhere to go. Okay, well, these two programs, as we know, have a storied history.
Yeah.
Laney's produced a handful of NFL players.
Sure.
Screven County has produced one NFL player.
Oh, wow.
Bobby Waters. He was a quarterback for the 49ers back in the 60s. Actually was much better known. He went on to become the head coach at Western Carolina from 1969 to 1988. The field there is actually named after him at the Catamounts. But Laney has had its fair share of NFL players. I'm sure you're very familiar with Kendrell Bell.
Yes,
of your beloved Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, former Georgia Bulldog as well.
Oh, as the pass falls incomplete, Jay Gray and the intended receiver. Emerson Boozer, probably the most famous player to come out of the Laney program. He was on that Jets Super Bowl team in Super Bowl III. Okay, he was drafted in the 7th round of the 1966 draft. Okay, 7th round of the 1966 draft as we take another look at the incomplete
this question sounds hard already, John.
I'm getting you there. You want my pen? You want to take some notes?
No, I'm ready.
All right, so Emerson Boozer drafted in the 7th round of the 1966 draft. That year, the Atlanta Falcons was their first year as an expansion team. They were given the first pick in every round.
Yeah.
Your first question is, who was the Falcons' first pick? Oh, that's
Tommy Nobis.
Very good, Tommy Nobis, as Mario Sumter kept it and will be dropped for a loss, and that'll turn it over on downs to the Gamecocks. Now.
That was the Tommy Nobis was the easy answer. Gosh.
Who was the Pittsburgh Steelers' first-round pick in that draft? And I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
Widely regarded as the worst first-round pick in Pittsburgh Steelers history.
66.
As the Gamecocks take over on downs, and Ashley Brown's got smoke coming out of his ears.
I know we had you said something about West Virginia earlier, so that's leading me to believe it was West Virginia.
His tie to West Virginia, he was the first black man to play football at West Virginia.
Larry.
Nope.
We did have a Larry from West Virginia. We had a Lopez from West Virginia. We had Amos
You're just going to start naming guys?
The West Virginia guys from the Steelers. Amos Zeraway. Lopez was drafted in the 40s, though.
Screven County getting the backup some work in there. Sean Williams, a junior, on the carry there.
Yeah, I don't know it, John.
Does the name Dick Leftridge
I do
ring a bell?
remember that. Yeah, I do. I do remember him. That name, as being a Steeler fan, I do. Yeah, you're right. Regarded as maybe the worst of all time.
Played 4 total games in his NFL career.
Jeez.
Change in quarterback for the Gamecocks as Edward Lovett has come in.
Well, I'll take solace in my Tommy Nobis.
Tommy Nobis was good, very good. Not being a Falcons fan, that's not
great
something everybody would know.
One great linebacker from the 60s and 70s for sure.
Now in the Falcons' Ring of Honor. Well, as we look for the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game here, we've got our fair share to pick from for the Gamecocks.
Well, I think, obviously Bunbury's had a good game. C.J. Wright, though, I think really set the stage offensively. He would be tough to beat. 121 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and really kind of carried that offense and carried a bunch of Laney players tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think defensively, you got to look at Kayshawn Robinson and what he did with the blitz and several big plays and tackles kind of all over the field. Because it was kind of a team effort defensively, but he certainly stood out to me as just really gifted with that speed off the edge.
Gary Hawkins with a big gain up to the 25-yard line.
You also had...
He's had a big game, too.
Yeah, he has. But you also, defensively, again, some of the others to look at. Kendrick Cox had a good game. I thought Treston Jamison had a good game. And like I said, offensively, Bunbury struggled a little bit passing but had over 100 yards rushing. But C.J. Wright, tough to beat on that offensive side, too. But, again, we'll have that announcement at the conclusion of the game.
Looking forward to seeing who ends up taking home the hardware. So Screven County knocking on the door of another one here. That's Xavier Budget, a sophomore, through the middle. As the clock ticks, under 6 minutes left. Georgia, Mississippi State, who you got, AB?
Well, that's a tough one. Mississippi State obviously riding pretty high. Georgia's going to be a tougher test in their building, of course. Normally, I would probably go Mississippi State here, but I think Georgia wins a close game like 23-20.
Guys in the desert have it at 3 points, or 4 points at last I looked.
Yeah, I think Georgia wins, but it's going to be tight.
That's going to be close to a first down. Going to break a third down situation.
Of course, in the first half, we gave you our scholar athlete from Screven County. Let's take a look at tonight's scholar from the Laney Wildcats. He's there you see him, number 63. That is Aaron Simpson. He's a starting right tackle for the offensive line for this Laney squad and carries a 3.48 GPA. Congratulations to our Lucy C. Laney High School Scholar of the Game, Aaron Simpson.
They call him Bubba around here. As the clock runs close to 4 minutes.
What's it like to watch Florida State play the first week and have to wait 3 weeks for them to play again?
Yeah,
hey,
AB,
we're one of the few teams in the country that haven't lost in a month.
Florida State Seminoles haven't played since that opening game loss to Alabama.
Well, we needed the time to get the Slim Reaper, our new quarterback, ready.
Yeah.
Love the nickname, but we'll see if he can play well. Hard to go with a true freshman.
The first down for the Gamecocks from the 16-yard line, and straight through the middle is Sean Williams, as Ron Duncan getting a whole host of players some work here in these final moments. So Screven County's going to come out of here with a win. They're going to stay undefeated on the season. They're going to be undefeated in region play. And, again, they'll go to Harlem next week for what should be, or they won't go to Harlem. They'll host Harlem for what should be a big showdown. And I know the Bulldogs are home watching right now and looking forward to this. And there's a touchdown run. Sean Williams gets into the end zone, and that'll make it 48-0 Gamecocks. So it was a little bit slow starting here tonight, but Screven County has lived up to its state ranking and this high-powered offense, which, as we said, has not scored less than 45 points in a game this season. We'll keep that streak intact.
Well, and for the opposite side, Laney's given up 50 points a game, and that streak's going to keep intact, unfortunately. But, again, they've played the meat of their schedule, other than, they've got one tough one left. But they've played the meat of their schedule pretty much.
Point after up and good, 48-0. Screven County leads Laney. Back after this on Game Night Live. 49-0, Screven County leads Laney with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left here. And again, the clock will run as soon as we kick it off. Talked about Screven County hosting Harlem next week. That'll be a big matchup. This Laney team will obviously go into next week still looking for its first win. They're going to face another winless team with Westside next week, a chance for the Wildcats to get in the win column.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they don't. But then again, they are down compared to past years where Westside is one of these county teams they've dominated over the last decade.
Jordan Stringer on the return for Laney. He has been one of the few bright spots tonight for the Wildcats.
And he hasn't just put up monster numbers, but the bright spot because he's a freshman, first off. and he's out here against a very good, top-ranked team, third-ranked in the state. He had a couple of big plays called back, actually. He had that one screen pass where he had picked up big yardage that was called back. I do like the looks of him. Again, he's not quite Cam Garnett, who had 195 yards last week. And
very few people are.
Cam Garnett going into tonight already had 558 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns in their first 4 games. And, by the way, we had him for 195. Harlem, on their official stats, had him for 202. So I'll go with Nathan Edwards, 195, but the Harlem folks had him for 200.
They do have the benefit of watching it over.
That's true. That's true.
Wildcats with a change at QB is Dorian Hazel. Talk about another freshman coming in and getting some reps. And, well, there's something we haven't said in a while. Flag on the play.
They a little more clean.
Half the reason we're still here at almost 11.
Yeah, I thought we were about ready for a record-breaking performance on flags. 26 in the first half is a record. Next week, the Aiken-South Aiken game, I won't be there, but a chance to see both those teams again. South Aiken, that first week of the season, their offense looked very good. They've only had 1 loss this year. Aiken, of course, struggling a little bit, but they do have a weapon. They've got a really talented running back in Jeremiah Green, but they'll have their hands full with their rivals across Aiken in the Thoroughbreds.
Our second look at South Aiken and Aiken this year.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. South Aiken not maybe as talented, and the talent's not spread out as much as it was last year, but they still got a good team. Losing to Whitenoll was a little bit of a surprise, especially when North Augusta really manhandled Whitenoll last week. And I got to give Strom Thurmond credit tonight. I hear their young quarterback who struggled when we saw them, Jaquan Harris, the sophomore quarterback, got hurt tonight. Hope he's okay, but they put their athlete, Tyreek Williams, at quarterback. And apparently Williams really played well tonight and kept them in the game against North Augusta before they fell 34-21. So Strom Thurmond did not perform poorly, but they just played a very good North Augusta team who's ranked highly in the state of South Carolina.
Inside the final minute now, and the freshman Hazel will keep. And he'll get out of bounds, but that should be the final play here. Let's see if they'll line up and run one more. Does not look like it, as the players are forming the line to shake hands.
Well, the starters on defense getting a rest, and next week they got to prepare for the 2 talented running backs for Harlem.
Now we will. It looks like one run more play. Well, no, we won't. There we go. Little end around they ran on us. All right, there you go. So that's the ball game. Final score from Lucy Laney Stadium. The Screven County Gamecocks 49, the Laney Wildcats nothing. We will be back with final stats, final thoughts, and our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game right after this on Game Night Live. Back at Lucy C. Laney Memorial Stadium, where the Screven County Gamecocks have beaten the Laney Wildcats 49-0, and Matt Lane is down on the field with a victorious Gamecock coach, Ron Duncan.
That's right, John, here with Coach Duncan. Coach, first half took forever. We had the weather delay, a lot of flags kind of back and forth. Second half, running clock certainly helped the movement of it, but you guys came in, you got to win, didn't have any major injuries.
That's right. Just at this point, just try to win and keep moving on to the next one. We know we got a really good, improved Harlem team coming to our place next week, so should be a big game, should be ready to play.
What have you kind of seen from them so far? Obviously, you probably know 2 really good running backs out of them, been really doing a lot of damage to a lot of teams. Is that kind of what you're game planning for?
We haven't seen them on film yet. We try to take it week by week. We'll worry about them, I guess, almost tomorrow morning, but Sunday morning at 8 o'clock we'll start working on them and take a little break for church and then get back to work on them again.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Be safe getting back. Back to you, John.
All right, Matt. Gamecocks remain undefeated with the 49-0 win. They have now outscored their opponents 191-33 this season. AB, final thoughts today?
Well, I mean, Screven's obviously talented. When you make the mistakes, 15 penalties in the first half, 2 turnovers, when you make those kind of mistakes and your quarterback struggles and your star receiver struggles and you still win by the amount they won by, obviously you got some talent. Next week they're going to have to come ready to play against an upstart Harlem team. And for Laney, they've got to throw this half of the season out and get ready for the remaining part of the season because they still have a chance to pick up some wins and who knows, maybe still a playoff spot the way they did last year.
So an impressive showing by the Screven County team tonight, and as you might imagine, there were a lot of candidates for our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game, and we will reveal the winners of those 2 pieces of hardware right after this on Game Night Live. Back live one more time to wrap it up at Lucy C. Laney Memorial Stadium. And time now to name our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. And we'll have that for you in just a moment. Again, maybe plenty of nominees.
Yeah, I mean, you had Bunbury, who had a great game, over 100 yards rushing, although he struggled throwing the football. Kim Hunter ran it well. Defensively, you had several players on that defense. Kendrick Cox played well. Obviously, Kayshawn Robinson and the big fellow, C.J. Wright. So, yeah, a lot of nominees. And you only can pick one of the offense, one defense, even though they had a number of groups. But I think there were 2 that really stood out.
Well, drum roll, please. It is time to reveal our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. For that, we go back down to the field and Matt Lane.
Thank you, John. That's right. We're here for the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. As you know, stop by any local McDonald's in the CSRA after the game, before the game. Always a great place to catch a meal before the game or after the game. Always fun to hang out with your friends, as we all know, at all the McDonald's in the CSRA. Real quick, got our good friends from Screven County, the offensive and defensive players of the game. I'm going to start on the defensive side of the ball with Kayshawn Robinson. Really just an all-around great game out of you today. What's your favorite part about defense? Is it the blitzing? Is it the tackling? Is it the sacks?
All around. I like everything about it. The blitzing, the tackling. It's just.
When did you know you were probably pretty good at defense, that you were going to be able to kind of time the snaps like that?
Beginning of the season, hard work during practice and everything.
Very good, man. Very good. That's your defensive player of the game. And then for offense, our good friend C.J. Wright, number 21, not only a defensive tackle, but a running back as well, as you see. Well put together right here. 121 yards on the night, 2 touchdowns, and also a full game on defense. C.J., I asked you kind of jokingly before if you really enjoyed running the ball. Who's your favorite running back? Who'd you watch growing up that you really wanted to kind of emulate your game after?
Marshall Lynch, that's all I used to watch. That's all I used to watch. And Drone the Bus Bettis, man. Yeah. That's all I used to watch.
Which you like playing better, offense or defense?
I say I like playing defense more because I like to hit people. But when they need me on offense, I come in and I execute very well. And I can't do it without my offensive line, my quarterback, and my wide receivers. They block for me. I couldn't do it without them.
That's right. Right here for the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. 2 studs here, Screven County. Wish them luck through the rest of the season. Back to you, John.
C.J. Wright got a standing ovation from AB up here in the booth with the mention of the bus.
He got a bus. Hey, I had my wife for her birthday wanted a puppy. I had 2 rules. Well, the number 1 rule, I get to name it, and his name is Bettis. I love that reference. Yeah.
Well, so that's going to do it for a long night here at Lucy C. Laney Stadium. A victorious night for the Screven County Gamecocks, as they are a winner and stay undefeated. They'll move on to face Harlem next week. These Laney Wildcats will face Westside. We will be in Aiken next week for the Battle of Aiken, Aiken against South Aiken. So, for Ashley Brown, Matt Lane down on the field, our director Chris McCarthy, our replay guy Mike Lublikowski, our graphic man Josh Recor, audio guy Jeff Singleton, our cameraman Dion Mayo, Corey Alberty, Victoria Broughton, Calvin Jenkins, Seth McDougal, as well as Scott Skadden, Sarah Choi, and Helen Johnson helping us out on the field tonight. Thank you for joining us for Game Night Live. Again, your final score is the Screven County Gamecocks 49, the Laney Wildcats nothing. We will see you next week from Aiken. Good night from Laney Memorial Stadium.